Do you need help studying for the MCAT, the LSAT, or other school exams? Are you struggling to learn a new language? Or do you just want to expand upon your general knowledge? If you want to do any three of those things, I heavily recommend you flashcard with Anki. Now, what is Anki? Anki is a cloud-based spaced repetition flashcarding software. For those of you who don't know, spaced repetition is the progress of subtly studying harder and less memorizable facts more frequently, while the stuff you do have memorized and mastered in your mind is studied less frequently, in order for all of these facts to be built upon in your long-term memory. Anki is available on all web-based platforms, which includes, but is not limited to, Windows, macOS, and Linux systems, and Android and iOS systems for mobile users. Anki is simple to use and possesses huge long-term benefits. In a paper by Tabibian et al. In 2019, users of Duolingo, which is a language learning app found on the iOS and Android markets, were more effectively able to study language vocabulary using spaced repetition. Similarly, in a study conducted in 2020 at the University of Cadiz, nursing students in pharmacology were able to memorize the names of drug facts more easily using Anki. Now, a little bit about me. I'm Nolan Jones. I'm a member of Purdue's Quiz Bowl team, which is a trivia studying team. In the top right, that team of me and three other guys, we went to the University of Michigan to compete in a trivia-based competition in which we came runner-up. We use Anki all the time to study trivia-based facts like literature, science, history, you name it, and we are very successful at it. At the same time, I am a French speaker. I have used Anki over the years in order to better my vocabulary, my verb conjugations, and in the bottom right, that is a picture of me last summer at the Louvre in Paris. When I went to Paris last summer, I had to speak a lot of native French, and I could not have done that without Anki. Now, to use Anki, you need a computer or mobile device, an active email address, and an internet connection. Only those three things. Anki is free and it is very useful. Today, you will learn how to download Anki on Windows 11, download an online deck on Anki Web, and review flashcards effectively. The first step in using Anki is you have to install Anki. Now, Anki is a free platform, so if you go to apps.ankiweb.net, and I'll put all the links in the description for this video, you will access a free download link, which for today's demonstration I will be using Windows 11, but there are free utilities for Mac users, Linux users, and iPhone and Android users. So the first thing you want to do is download the executable file, which will allow you to download Anki. I've downloaded the executable file for Anki. Go to your downloads folder, and then run the executable. And now we're on to the second step, which is creating an Anki Web account to download an Anki Web deck. Now, you will have to use your personal email address to create an Anki Web account in order to sync decks between accounts, but with the link in the description, you can create an account. After you create your Anki Web account and login, you should first appear at this decks page. First, scroll down and find the Get Shared Decks web link. On this page, you will find many different publicly shared decks to use at your disposal. Today, I will be using the French language decks, and I will download the French sentences deck, which is rated pretty highly. You want to find this file, and then you want to click download. Once you are back in Anki, go to File, go to Import, and then find the deck file that you downloaded from Anki Web and import that into your Anki decks. Once you have done that, you have successfully downloaded an Anki Web deck off of Anki Web. Your flashcards, and this is the most important step along the way. Once you have downloaded your deck, click on the deck and enter Study Now. Now, I was read something because this was a spoken deck. This is essentially the front card of the deck. Now, if I want to see the back card to reveal the answer, I can hit space or I can click Show Answer, at which point it shows me "à vous" means over to you in French. Now, I knew this pretty well, but I wouldn't say that I knew this masterfully. So I'm going to select good.
Et ça?
A sa. Now, let's say I don't understand what this means. I flip the card and it says, and that. I hadn't know this, and I would want to review this again for better studying. So in which case, I would want to hit again.
Passa.
Passa. I have to think about this, but I think this means not that. That was fairly hard, but it wasn't impossible for me to memorize, but it wasn't immediate enough for me to review it as a good or an easy card. So then I will hit hard.
Pour vous, pour toi.
The way the system works is you will eventually work through the deck. You will review a lot of these cards, and depending on the difficulties that you assign to them, some of the harder ones will appear more frequently, while the ones that you rate as good and easy will then get buried into the deck and will be reviewed at a later date. There, you have successfully studied flashcards. And there you have it. You have effectively downloaded Anki, downloaded an online deck, and learned how to review flashcards in order to long-term learn with spaced repetition. Now, I will leave you with this word of advice, which is study. And not just study, study every day. The only way Anki works, the only way spaced repetition works, is that you are studying enough cards every day in order for the spaced repetition to actually work. If you only study once a week, once a month, you will be forgetting things, which is the whole purpose of spaced repetition, is that you are progressively coming back to things, and so that they will be stored in your long-term memory. Now, thank you. These are my references, and have fun studying with Anki.